My name is Finn Craven and I'm here interviewing my local sporting hero, Dixie Craven. I'd like to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Derrybeg. Now, Derrybeg was a funny sort of estate. It was in the 70s, and there was a lot of trouble about in them days.
Yeah.
Me, personally, I chose sport rather than, in them days, there was a lot of sort of like stone throwing and thing at police and all that there, whereas I just took up sport. I went to play football, done boxing, that types of things, you know.
Yeah. What was the first sport you played?
The first sport I played, again, it's either boxing or football. I was just so young at the time. Boxing, I think, but football was very close together. The two of them I just loved. And again, in them days in Derrybeg, where a lot of people were not so much into their sport, but more because of the troubles and all they were all in at the time in Derrybeg. Them out on the street doing what they're done, I just took my ball down to the football field or went round to the boxing club with Bernie the Bolt. Taught me basically from a young age how to box, and I went on. It was a good 10 years in boxing, you know.
Yeah. What made you want to play football?
Again, I was a Man United fan. I remembered even Christmas Day getting my first Man United strip, and I mean, I can't even remember how young where I actually started playing football. What made me do it is just, I can't actually say what made me do it, it just was there at the time. And I went to school with a couple of friends. Tommy O'Hanlon would be one, and me and him sort of hung about as children, and even after school, we wouldn't go home and do our homework. We would go out onto the field and play the football, and that's just where I...
Yeah. And who is the best team you played for and why?
The best team I played for, now, okay. The best team I played for, I played for Irish League teams, Portadown, Glenavons, Armagh Cities was there, Newry Town was there. But I have to say, after leaving Portadown, for a reason that I'm sure I could talk about later on in one of your questions, but I come home and I went to Bestbrook United. Now they played intermediate football, and I had my local teams as well, Derrybeg from where I came from. But the Bestbrook intermediate team was put together, like all the best players in and around Newry, all taken out, to form a team that could go into this intermediate league. And we were very successful because it was the best of the best. Again, the likes of Tommy O'Hanlon, Tommy Moody, Marty McGuigan, Tommy Keynes, all great footballers. Like. And I stayed there for a lot of years, like, and won a lot of things with them. So that would have been my best team I think I ever played with. Like.
What was the best thing you won with Bestbrook United?
The best thing, we actually didn't win. We won loads of Bass Bowls, we won the league. I think we were just winning everything in them leagues. But in the Irish Cup, which would be an Irish, like the Irish League teams, Portadowns and all, we entered into that one year and we went to the 6th round of the Irish Cup. Now, for an amateur team, it was very unheard of. And I remember the TV cameras and all coming to where we were training, and they were putting us on TV because we were playing Ballymena United. We were going great at that time in this 6th round of the Irish Cup. And if I had won that game, we would have went into the quarter-final of the Irish Cup. Now that's very, very unheard of, and that's just the quality of the team, the players that we had at that time, you know. And we were drawing one each with 5 minutes to go, and they just nipped one at the end. But as in all the cups and all the trophies that I'd won with that Bestbrook intermediate team, I'd say that was the biggest moment. That was the proudest moment, to be able to get to that stage in that sort of with them teams we were playing against. Like, you know.
How did you feel when you lost against them?
How did I feel when we lost against them? It wasn't too bad because I got man of the match. but you were just playing in a different league with a different group of players. But again, it was just me. I was just disappointed every time I lost. It's like, it's just life, and just was the way I grew up. I just wanted to win everything, and thank God, every team I played for, even boxing I was successful. I was just a winner, and to get beat by Ballymena United, it was heartbreaking. But the level that you were playing at there, it wasn't too bad then.
Yeah.
Got to move on.
And what was the most disappointing thing in your career?
The most disappointing thing, it's very easy. The time I played for Portadown, we were playing a game, and the scout that brought me down to Portadown was sitting with a scout from Celtic in the stand watching the game. Now, I had a great game that day. We won 1-0 or something at the time. And then after we were going home, we could change, and we were going down the road again. He was giving me a lift home, and he said to me that the Celtic scout was interested in taking me over for a trial. Now, for me, that was like every child's dream. I started playing football at a young age with always, I'm going to be a professional footballer. I'm sure all young fellas would think like that. But for me, that was like so exciting. That was like the best thing. And then 2 to 3 weeks later, we were playing an hour game, and we were getting a lift back down the road again. And the scout that took me down there, I can't even remember the lad's name, had said to me that Celtic had come back to him and said that they weren't going to take me over because I was too small. Now, that was heart-wrenching. Now, for me to go, which I was playing Irish League at the time, building up to get into that, I was playing along with the likes of like Joey Cunningham's, Marty McGee's. They were in the first team, and I was only in the second team at the time. But young enough, I was hoping I was heading to go into the first team. And then when he said that to me, that I wasn't going to get going, in my mind I was saying that I was too small. And then in my head I was going, why am I too small? I can head a ball better than any man, no matter what size I was. And it disheartened me. And then I left the Irish League then, and then just come back home and just played my local football, and then back in with Westbrook United again. And that was the most wrenching thing in my career, you know.
And who was your sporting idol growing up?
My sporting idol, okay. My sporting idol at the time, I was a big Man United fan, and just the way he played, I played the same way as this guy that I always admired. It was a man called Brian Robson. He played for Man United centre midfield in England. And I just used to watch him, and I would always watch him and say, like, someday I'm going to play like him. And thank God I wasn't as good as him, but I played to the same way that he would play. So he would have been my sporting idol, as in a football sense of view. From the boxing end of it, it can only be one man. Like, I think he's the wisest man on the planet. And God bless him, if he was alive today, it would be Muhammad Ali. Like. He was the wisest man. The words that would come out of his mouth just would inspire you to be bigger and better than what you'll always will be, like, you know.
Yeah. And if you had a chance to redo your career, would you do anything differently?
What if I had to redo my career? From a non-sporting point of view, would I change anything in my life? From where I am today, no, because I've achieved the goals that I've always set out from when I was younger. From when I was 15 years of age, I always wanted my own gym.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a PE teacher as well. And first of all, I lived in London, and I went back to school. I was a baker at the time. I left the baking to go back to school for a year to become a PE teacher. So I'd done the course, passed it, and got into university. Excuse me. And heading down that PE rained, and I was first day in university, and I just come home, and I flew home again. I just stopped it. The other thing that was in my mind, you see, was I wanted this gym. I wanted my own gym, the fitness and the health and the whole thing. And I baked for a while more, but I put the plan in action to have my own gym. and it's just all come through. So would I change? Not really, because I believe that them experiences in your life, like they're like stepping stones to wherever you're going to, or wherever your goal was, or whatever you need to achieve in your life. Like, so the things were we stepping stones to where it never stopped me wanting to have my own gym, and I've just followed through. And today I have the thing that I always wanted. Like. So not really, because I believe that they are just stepping stones. Everything happens for a reason. I became a baker. I was a good baker. You know, I was going on to be a PE teacher. It just didn't feel right for me. So I just come out of the PE and just went for the gym then, and I achieved what I needed to achieve.
What advice would you give to the younger generation in the sporting world today?
Well, that would be easy. And to be honest, I think the younger generation today are too caught up from when I grew up. When we grew up, we played on the streets. My mother wouldn't have seen me from morning to night. We were out playing on the streets, whatever it was, making buggies, climbing trees, clacking for bonfires, knock door run, whatever it was. Today's generation of children are just so caught up in the whole social media, iPhone, iPad, Xbox, and all this stuff, PlayStations and all that type of stuff. And me personally, they're stopping themselves from growing. To me, they're not even living in a way, because they're just so caught up in these things. Like, how they're not playing on the streets, they don't do it anymore. So me personally, the first thing would be to tell them to stop that, like, and get out and live a little.
Yeah.
Get out and play in the streets. Get out and do the things that, you know, when we didn't have them things in them generation and in our times, like. So that would be one of them. The second thing I would say to them is to believe in themselves. Like, I believed in myself that, you know, that I could go on to get the gym no matter what else I had to do in between. For me, they were just stepping stones. For me, it's like win or lose in life, you know. If you want something in life and you believe in yourself, you should just go for it. You work hard for it. You're not going to get it playing on an iPad or PlayStations or anything like that. You get up and you get out and you go for your goals and you go for your dreams. And I would promise you, if you get into that, you will achieve everything you want in life. Like, not a problem. But if you get caught up in this social media world where a lot of it is bad news, a lot of it's fake news, but young fellas get their heads wrapped around that this is all real and it's all true and it's all this. If they come out of all that, don't listen to it and just carry on with the dreams that they want to have, whether it's to be the footballer. Okay, work hard to be a footballer. If it's to be whatever, electricians or whatever they want to be, they've got to want to do what they're going to love doing.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Don't be getting into things that you're not going to be happy working at. Don't be getting into things that, like, I mean, if you're playing a sport that you're not even happy playing the sport, okay, find another sport. It would always be, for me, find the things that you would love doing. And that's it.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you for taking the time out for me to interview. I find your story very interesting.
I hope it helps, young fella.